2023 is almost in the books, and it's been a mixed one for the games industry. It's seen an incredible number of titles pushing the envelope as far as player choice, open worlds and VR go, but it's also seen the artist, engineer and developer communities ripped apart by layoffs. We've seen complete overhauls of games we played years ago, particularly in the horror genre, and we've seen CRPGs finally hit the mainstream. We've seen the return of Link, Mario and Alan Wake, and we saw a FromSoft release that's still not Elden Ring DLC. So with 2024 looming over the horizon, we're taking one final look back at the year gone by as we crown our GGRecon Game of the Year, as voted for by our very own lovely staff at GG Towers. My only spoiler comment, Dead Space Remake was robbed. Let's get into it. So very quickly, the rules. We set very few limits on what can be voted for in Game of the Year, with the only sticking point of note being that the game must have originally been released after January 1st, 2023. Re-releases and ports don't count, but full ground-up remakes are very much allowed. Number 5. Alan Wake 2. Remedy Games has been one of the most forward-thinking storytelling studios in the game industry for quite a while now, but even with its reputation, few of their games can match the balance of compelling gameplay and freaky bizarro narratives of Alan Wake 2. Blending the unknowable concept threads of Alan Wake and Control with the anxiety-inducing ammo management and perspective of survival horror, Alan Wake 2 cranks its spooks and excitement to 11 without feeling so overwhelming that it becomes impossible to contend with. Delivering on Remedy's best story yet that folds in new silliness with familiar horrors, the next chapter in the story that began over a decade ago is more than worthy of its stature and proves that it's not just Kojima that can deliver on weirdness in an industry that has a habit of shying away from such strange concepts. Alan Wake 2 is the Frankenstein's monster of everything that makes Remedy's work so compelling, and it's a case for the team's title as the best storytellers in the business. Number 4. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. It's a rare thing for a sequel to surpass its predecessors that set the bar so high in such spectacular fashion, but that's exactly what Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has done. From the moment you take that first swing, you're back to feeling that childlike sense of wonder that made you feel like Spider-Man, and having 2 to play with makes it all the sweeter. With heavy-hitting villains like Kraven the Hunter and Venom posing a serious threat to Miles, Peter and the whole of New York, the stakes have never been higher and the story is the peak of superhero. Oh, and we also had Spider-Cube. I mean, if that wasn't worth an award at the Game Awards, then honestly, what was? Only time will tell how the next game will go, but it'll have a lot to do to beat this one. Number 3. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Remaking what's arguably one of the best video games of all time was never going to be easy, and while we've seen many Resident Evil 4 ports over the years, 2023's remake is worth every penny. Leon S. Kennedy is back in this glossy evolution of the Resiverse, which takes the DNA of the 2005 GameCube game and mutates it into a much bigger and much more disgusting to look at beast. 2023's Resident Evil 4 Remake even makes babysitting Ashley Graham a joy. So kudos Capcom. Now we just have to wait until they swing back around at Resi 5. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. I knew this game had latched itself onto my heart literally 5 minutes in. Just completed the prologue and was busy exploring the Cave of Awakening and slowly re-establishing that muscle memory from Breath of the Wild when I stepped out and looked down on the stunning view of the entirety of Hyrule beneath, and then the game told me to jump. So I did. A swirling score and a brief skydive over a huge open world, and one title card later, and you knew this was going to be special. Old areas of Hyrule have new surprises, making it worth revisiting every inch of the map. The sky and the depths both add so much to the game, expanding the scope to an unbelievable degree. It's a miracle that it even manages to function on such a tiny cartridge, yet it's more polished than the vast majority of games on the market. Nintendo's devs, they're magicians, and Tears of the Kingdom is one of their most incredible tricks yet. Number 1, GGRecon's Game of the Year, Boulders Gate 3. Look, it's likely no surprise that Boulders Gate 3 took the crown for GGRecon's Game of the Year. Our review dubbed the game an unmissable adventure, and that sentiment holds true even a few months after release. The voice acting, the storytelling, the decisions that branch off in a million different directions, and the world building are a new benchmark that will shape the course of other RPG titles for literally years to come. The soundtrack, the graphics, and the incredible post-launch support supplied by Larian, along with seemingly endless hilarious patch notes, including Update 5's epilogue, Faerun has so much to discover tucked away throughout the corners of the map, meaning replayability and some of the most captivating companions ever devoted to video games can be returned to again and again. So there you have it, GGRecon's top 5 and final Game of the Year, and what a year. Fingers crossed, 2024 keeps the good times coming. And if you fancy taking a gander at more of what we do here at GGRecon before 2024 properly kicks off, consider subscribing and check out these videos here.